All right, welcome to Otaku Talk. Ooh, I was like a second early. Welcome to Otaku Talk Sundays with Bree and Twan. We're back. This week we're back to talk about Solo Leveling. New episode drop. Episode 6 came out. So if you haven't seen it, I don't know why you haven't. Well, probably because Crunchyroll was struggling with life.
Oh my god!
Don't get
From
me started.
12:30 to when did you watch it?
I watched it like 8:30 Eastern.
Buffer City.
It was a mess. Like, so I don't know. Maybe you haven't watched it, but it was a good episode. We were really looking forward to this episode because I think the episode before that was kind of like a build up where they were setting up for this next episode that we got. But I must say this episode threw a few surprises at me. And it had some great moments. So I can't wait to talk about it. You know, usually we kind of, long stroke y'all, get y'all warmed up before we jump right into it, but not today. Okay, could be because I watched Saltburn 3 times this past week, but I'm not in the mood to get y'all ready, so we just gonna jump right on in.
Come on, 3 times though.
Yeah, 3 times.
That's crazy.
It was better.
Just my stomach couldn't handle 3 back to back. But
I don't know. There's something debaucherous about me. Somebody that slurp just like now when I hear the slurp. When I hear the slurp now, I can't, like, it's so funny to me. Like, not me in my bed kicking, laughing. Like, it's so funny to me.
Something about the slurp.
That slurp. You know what it makes
This needs to be added to Kawaii for the culture. Something about that slurp.
Something about the slurp. But no, it's like, because for me, it's like when you have cereal and you like finish your cereal or you drink your ramen noodle juice. Like, I don't know. Or you.
That sound.
Yeah, it's a slurp. It's the slurp. Even though I hate slurpers in real life, like in person.
Because why? Like, why are you doing this to not only yourself but the people around you?
Yeah, like, but in Asian culture, that's like a thing. Like, you're supposed to slurp.
Right, but we didn't grow up with that.
Right.
We didn't. That is not our culture.
Because like sometimes I'll be watching like K-dramas and stuff where they be eating and it be sending me. I'll be like, oh my god, they like chew their mouth open and they slurp. I'll be like, this shit is disgusting. But anyway, what's not disgusting is Sung Jinwoo. So let's talk about Solo Leveling episode 6. Where should we begin?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, it jumps right off from the entrance of not the entrance of the betrayers, but we jump back to the group leaving outside of the portal after they just destroyed the cave in, and one of the dudes like, well, why didn't we just kill him then? But he had to think about it. He was like, well, if we can't immediately just kill the boss because we have to excavate the mana crystals, so how about we leave them in there? The monster or the boss eats them too. Weaklings gets tired, go to sleep, we come back, get the mana crystals, then we tackle the boss.
Because I'm just so sure that it was gonna go to sleep though.
That's why I'm like, how you just know that? Like, do you have a PhD in C rank spider monsters specifically?
Yeah.
Like, how you know there's
y'all got here? And if they were that weak, like maybe the spider boss wouldn't even have to break a sweat to kill him. So, like, how you just so sure that was gonna work out anyway?
I mean, I guess they just assume because the layout of their group, they have, I think it was 4 C rankers, 2 D rankers, and then Sung Jinwoo and Jinho. So right. I think they I guess they have confidence in those 4 C rankers, in their abilities alone. So maybe they could have, but at the same time, it still feels like a wonky plan. You know what I mean?
Just like one of those plans, like everything literally would have had to go right for you,
right?
For that to
everything.
Work out. But it didn't matter anyway because today they fucked around and found out. So it wasn't right. It wasn't right today. Yeah,
proves right every time.
That's what I'm saying. So I mean, that worked out. That they just had to learn the hard way. So let's see. I will say before we get into it, this shocked me because for me, I'm thinking this fight with this spider is going to take up most of the episode.
That's
like
true.
I know I was hoping that he would style on the spider a little bit. We'll talk about that. Like, I was hoping it'd be like very fan servicey, like quick work. But even with that, I still thought it would just be like more gratuitous fan service of him being like amazing. I was not expecting how this episode went at all. like at
I mean,
all.
they did give us a little bit of gratuitous fan service of him being amazing, but they decided to break up the sources from which we got produced the
Yeah, we
context.
got what I wanted, but I was not thinking we were gonna get what I wanted in that way. So let's get into first the spider.
Gaggy.
Right, the spider fight. I guess we'll start there.
Yeah.
Help me because
It was dope. It was dope. It was definitely what I imagined it to be. They had a lot of great moments where in the manhwa, like when he first arose and we just see his jacket flapping, the sound effects of him standing up in the wind and just it's just the power emanating off of him. They are just doing a really good job adapting the feeling of this manhwa. I just got to hats off to them. Like they are really doing their job. A1 is like really shutting me the hell up. Like,
yeah, I know, because we were both a little concerned about it when we talked about it initially. We were both a little concerned.
If I had a crow, I would be like eating both of them at the same time.
You would be eating crow?
Because I don't know. There was just something. There was a level of, maybe it was because I do this thing where I try to subvert expectations in my head, so I go into it trying to be a little bit more critical just because I know everybody else is,
right.
But like there's a certain point where you just gotta let go and just accept the medium and the thing that you are given, and just move forward in that, because you will enjoy the ride so much more, like I am now. Like I have trust in them that they are going to do what they need to do.
Sorry,
yeah.
No, I agree. But, I was a little nervous too. And there are still moments, like, okay, not to be like nitpicky, but there are still moments where I do wish the animation was a little bit more media. I think Jujutsu Kaisen, like Mappa, has just spoiled me because they do a lot more CGI and a lot more 3D modeling. I think you can get a lot more of that depth, to the animation. Like it takes out some of the leg work. And I have so much respect for A1 for like hand drawing stuff and still like drawing stuff. So I'm not saying that like it's I'm not saying that it's lacking at all. This isn't me saying it's lacking, but I do think, I was a fan of Trigun's animation style. I love Mappa. I love how meaty it is. I like how much depth you can just feel the depth of the 3D, I guess, aspect of it when you look at it. And I do wish sometimes that like I do miss that. Like that kind of depth that's
fair.
Using that.
That's absolutely fair.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right. Jujutsu Kaisen has definitely changed the landscape in a way that I'm looking at anime moving forward, you know, and I feel like a part of that is a little unfair, in a way. Not completely though. Like I fully, you saw how bad I was complaining and like what I wanted to see in a lot of those fight scenes and those moments. And I just I haven't found myself yet having that same emotion watching this. You know what I mean? Like for some reason I have been feeling satiated. Meanwhile, back then in that and during that little moment of Jujutsu Kaisen, there was something that just felt missing to the degree where I felt I needed to voice it. For this, I haven't yet. No. Like, I don't know.
It's consistently good. I haven't been taken out of it by anything. Like there's not been a moment where I'm taken out of it. That's just kind of me looking at it as like from a critical standpoint, because we have this show. I think if we didn't have a show where we talked about anime so in depth, I could definitely just be watching this and be like, I love this. This is great. But when I start to think about like discussion around it and any criticisms I have of it, I wouldn't even call it a criticism because you're comparing it to a different studio. It's not really like a lacking. It's more so just like preference thing. Like I prefer
you are free to that, girl. Because I did the same thing when it first aired, when I was talking about Chairman Go and just how flat and 2D his face was. Like there's areas where they can improve, but
I need I need a daddy filter on it. I think that's the best way to describe it. Like I just need a little like a daddy filter on it.
I feel like they gave him a little bit more. Just a brief moment where he got introduced to this episode too, where I think they did him just a little bit more justice. There was still a little bit of flatness going on in some of the frames, but I think as a whole, it definitely, he had some more shading, had some more, and it's like
traditional anime. You know what I'm saying? It's like traditional anime. But I think that's interesting to even say. Like, I think that's interesting to comment on how far anime has come, where like traditional anime almost feels like now. When you start to talk about side note on Mappa being psychotic and working their workers, but when you start to talk about how a studio has really changed how we view anime to a degree, I don't know. I kind of feel like I want to give that to Mappa and like maybe Wix. Like those two studios, I think have changed. I wouldn't even say Ufotable as much because Demon Slayer has a very unique style.
Right.
And even there are moments in Demon Slayer where sometimes 3D like takes me out of it. So I'm not even gonna hold you there. But I definitely think Mappa has changed the landscape of anime. Like for me,
I feel like they definitely, because when people I mean, it's everything that has an industry is competitive. You know what I mean? And I think the moment you start seeing these waves and these swells of outpouring of love and fandom for, I mean, specifically the animation or specifically these characters, the way they move, what they love about it, then I think the other animation studios would be dumb if they didn't start to pay more close attention to what they're doing and like advance what, you know, they're doing to at least feel on par to that, if not exceed. So I feel like that is, they definitely put their foot on the gas with Jujutsu Kaisen and raised the bar a lot. I
think we're gonna look back and look at that as a moment in history. Like it's gonna be you can look back over if you were to do a retroactive study of anime evolution over time. I think we will look back and look at like Chainsaw Man, this whole era of all of these anime that Mappa cranked out. I think we will look back and say this was the moment something happened here and switch things for sure.
Yeah, right after they do the dark undertone of the workers.
Yeah, like, but I think that's even going to be like industry changing as well, possibly.
Hopefully,
like
we can hope and pray.
Yeah, because even I mean the way they walk is like a thing now. Like when you see people on TikTok talking about a character's walk, like that's crazy. That's crazy to me. Like each one has a unique walk. You know, I was talking about Aki's walk. So it's just unique. But back to Solo Leveling. With this episode 1, Crunchyroll had me on 280. What, 240? 240p when I started the episode. So I was watching this first fight and I'm like, this anime is sloppy because usually I'm watching it in 1080. So I'm like, they cutting frames. Like it's looking like a PowerPoint. I'm like, not A1 Studios cutting frames. Like, then I realized it was Crunchyroll. So then I was like, okay, I got to go back and watch this with all of the frames because I know I was missing some of the anime. And it was gorgeous, of course. It was amazing. I loved watching him fight the spider.
Okay. Yeah. I was shook for a second. I was like, oh, wait, what frames was it missing? I was loving it. Yeah, it was dope. I love the way they're doing the movement. We did look at a little bit of the manhwa last episode. And with like some of the detail that's kind of lost because they were trying so hard to convey the movement and what was going on. But looking at it again, I love the way it's represented. He is really tapping into his badassery. Okay, he has shot up to, I think he's level 18 now.
Is he 18? Okay,
he's 18 at the beginning of this fight, and he mentions how like even though he feels like he's still weak, he's like it's odd because he doesn't like feel the pressure, like, you know, like in Bleach, the Ryatsu, the spiritual pressure. He's like, for some reason he just feels like that's lessened, and now like that's so dope seeing how like it's really manifesting itself in more ways than just like, oh, I'm strong, but it's like seeping into his personalities like without him even knowing.
Yeah,
like I think that's dope.
And him like having this aspect, I wonder if that'll last forever. I'm not sure, but like where it's kind of hidden. Like no one could pick up on it, and like it's like he activated or something. I don't know what the word is for it, but he just kind of like, okay, switch on, let me power up or whatever. So that's an interesting thing because I'm still curious to know that if he got scanned and he wasn't powered up.
No, go ahead.
Like if he wasn't powered up and he just like got scanned or touched the little thing to see his level, would it still say 10? You know what I'm saying? Or would he have to like cut on power up for it to really
according to Jinho in this episode, he mentions false rankers. We get introduced to that concept. There's people that like are what's the word, talented enough to like suppress their magical power so they can rank lower, and that's so they can get into or be like kind of, you know, deceiving about their power level so they can go around just killing people. He said they do it for fun, like they're sociopaths. And so I think maybe that could be, you know, them dropping hints for something, or
like that's why
that could be what he do in the future, maybe.
Yeah, but I don't see Sung Jinwoo
How
for
he
me.
continued to be,
I
E
can't
rank,
see
I
him being
guess.
the type that would like to stay. I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I don't know if he would choose to just be known as the same rank. I feel
I
like a part of
mean,
him would want to be acknowledged for how powerful he really is. Just seeing where he came from, I feel like he would want to know his proper rank. So I can't imagine him just being like, "Yeah, let me just cruise around, clean E, and but not really." I don't see him getting satisfaction from that.
yeah. I mean, he had that dichotomy when he was in his home the other day, and he was like, should I, out myself as someone who has a second awakening. He was looking at the magazine of all the S rank hunters, and he was like, I could do that, but then it takes me to a place where people that have these mischievous, intentions, like maybe that's not good that I do that right now. So I think he doesn't want to continue to be an E rank because he has to
Right.
make more money. He has to get in these higher dungeons, and he can't do that as an E ranker. So I think it's just timing, for him. I think
That's
that's where
true.
it says that.
That's true. And so we got to watch him do this amazing fight. We saw his speed. His speed was really highlighted this week. I feel like I don't know how many times I heard him say he's so fast. He's so fast. He's so fast. Like, I feel like that was okay. Sung Jinwoo is fast now. Like, that was, I think strength was the focus before. And now this week we got more of his speed was highlighted with how fast he was moving against the spider. And yeah.
Well, real quick to touch on that, it's because he unlocked an ability. I think it's dash in the anime, but it was sprint in the manhwa. So he just unlocked that, boosted him up 30, his movement speed 30%. And I realized they also are kind of leaving out a little bit of, like, he has a skill also called muscularity, like during this fight. And I'm thinking, I have no idea. It didn't have a data thing. Like at the end of each chapter, not each chapter, but majority of the chapters, they put like his stat boost and his weapons and stuff, so you can actually read what they do. But for some reason, that didn't have one. But I thought it was interesting because that just goes to show they're leaving out certain
things.
Yeah, certain like just skills that he might get that, they don't put too much attention to, because they're going to highlight the big ones, like this whole paralyze and bleed aspect of his dagger. They're going to put highlights and emphasis on that. But apparently, I think that might have been something like what we saw in the last episode where he threw the dagger at the golem.
Yeah.
And his arm got thick as hell.
Yeah.
Right before he threw it. I think that might be it. So I think they're gonna like just show us rather than tell us it's some of these.
Yeah, because like even when he uses his abilities, like his neck was like more muscular and things like that. So maybe it's just like we'll kind of see it like when he does little things like that. And was he using that ability with the dagger that makes him like what was it? Like it nerfs his strength or something, but it poisons targets. Wasn't it? What was the thing he got?
Oh, the potion. One of his rewards. Yeah, he didn't use that yet. No.
Okay, so he was just using his.
But
dagger,
it was like,
right?
I think it said it takes away. It takes away his 35 like, strength and gives him 35 defense. Yeah, makes him like stone or something.
I was thinking he was gonna like do that at first, but no, he just decided he was just gonna stab.
He was just gonna flex on him, right?
Just stab. We just gonna stab until he get through. I said, okay, well that's a plan, I guess. I mean, okay, and it worked. So I don't know. That fight was interesting to me because I just did not see it going there. I didn't see it going that way. Like, and it wasn't really flashy. It wasn't even to me. It wasn't a flashy fight. Like it was a lot of him moving fast, but it wasn't like a lot of stylish flashiness. He was stabbing
and moving fast.
Stabbing and moving fast. And then when he got that one stab in, he just kept stabbing. So it wasn't really a stylish fight, I would say.
That was a good scene though.
Yeah,
him repetitively stabbing them eyeballs.
I saw it was a little unhinged.
A little bit. That's the thing. Like that's what we realize, and we're noticing some. I don't want to say cracks, but we're seeing him let loose. I guess we should say mentally.
Yeah, I don't know if it's even letting loose or snapping. I don't really know what the word is yet. I don't know if it's I don't know.
But even some of these, like, I love the way they're like, they're showing Sung Jinwoo off like he really does look like a villain. Like they're like, I don't
Mm,
know if this is like the hero or the villain right now, because like a lot of these shots where he's like looking over his shoulder and his eyes are
mm-hmm.
slit, and he like even
Ew.
when Jinho was like, what is going on? This is an E ranker, because keep in mind he still is under the assumption this is the weakest hunter of all
Right.
time, and he just sees this man close the gap in 0.2 seconds over here jumping around. Like he destroyed a C rank boss in his face by
Mm-hmm.
himself.
Yeah.
So it's like the dude is like thinking, he is like, what have I got myself into? This guy is crazy. He's a sociopath. He's on his knees
I
throwing
think
up.
we see him being kind of like morally ambiguous, I guess. I think
Mhm.
that's what they want us to understand. Like Sung Jinwoo is morally
He is not your My Hero Academia, your typical type of hero.
No, I don't think I don't even know if he's a hero. I'll be curious to see what his value set is for determining, how he's gonna move. Because that's
Mhm.
always the thing with like morally ambiguous people in general. It's like if you don't understand how they make decisions, then it can be confusing as to like why they make decisions.
Mhm.
Like for instance, we were watching a game called Walking Dead, and of course it's an apocalypse, so everybody's a little morally ambiguous. But for
Mhm.
like one character, he just has to feel like he's justified, and like once he's justified, he will do anything. Like once he feels like he's justified. So I'd be curious to know like what Sung Jinwoo's like thing is, because he definitely strikes me as morally ambiguous. Like he's not gonna have a strong right versus wrong. So what is
Mhm.
gonna be his deciding factor? And I think it'll more than likely be, I don't know, because of the coming from a weak background, which I'm
Mhm.
trying not to skip ahead to like what he was talking about, but kind of this killed or be killed kind of thing, survival kind of thing, feels like it's gonna be something related to that, but I still haven't quite figured it out yet.
Oh,
We
it's my
started to
camera
see that.
froze.
I think so. Still froze. Not you look like Anderson Paak right now. This happens. I mean, it's a good still frame. You could probably get away with the Zoom meeting with this one. He can do a Zoom meeting like this, y'all. They wouldn't even know. But like, yeah, he's still at the meeting. Oh, let me while he's doing it, I'm gonna make a poll. How do you spell this boy name? He'll be right back. Not me can't spell. You us. I definitely spelled that wrong. Twan, you back? Okay, okay, there we go. All right, I just did a poll while you was there. But yeah.
What it say?
Is he morally ambiguous? I think it switched to your camera phone mic. I mean, not your camera phone, your camera microphone. I was like, wait, I'm missing a word in there, missing a word or two.
Okay. How about that?
I don't know yet. Let me see. Let me hear.
How about that?
Okay, yeah. That's good. Perfect. Okay. But yeah, I'm curious to know what his deciding factor is going to be. So I love morally ambiguous characters. I have a thing for them. You know me.
I mean, I
I
need some depth.
If you can convince me that you got a logical argument for it, I pretty much will ride with anything.
Oh yeah, that's very much true.
That's
very
true.
much true.
Listen,
for you, 100%.
Don't say it like that. You're saying it very. So I feel like I can get behind whatever Sung Jinwoo comes up with. He just gotta explain it to me, and then once we're there, I can ride for him killing who we got to kill. That's cool. So yeah, I'm excited to see him go this way. I'm gonna be curious to know like what's his value set gonna be.
Yeah, and I do like the fact that after he defeats the monster, Jinho is like carrying the bag, calling him boss, scared out of his mind,
Daddy.
doing whatever he got to do not to be killed in this moment.
Right.
But I really do love that when those guys show back up, they gave him the option. They were like, oh, they still alive. They think it was Jinho, which we see is going to be a recurring theme. Everybody thinks Jinho is the one that took this boss out
armor on and stuff
because of the armor, right? And he's in there with the weakest. So they come in and they're like, okay, so maybe you can join us. And in the manhwa, he also points out that he wants to have a conversation with his dad. So maybe they cut that because it didn't really serve too much of a purpose, I guess. But he did mention, I thought that was interesting. I thought that would pay off in some point. He was like, I want to have a conversation with your father, so join us and kill Jin Woo, and that'll be how you get out of here.
We had a few moments this week where I'm like curious about people's family members, and I don't know if they did that on purpose. Like, I'm curious to know who his daddy is. I'm curious to know who old boy brother was. So I'm curious to see who these family members are, because they just seem like they just casually brought it up. I'm like, okay, that might be important or something.
Right. We'll see. But he decides to stand up right next to him. I mean, granted, I didn't think it was a hard choice after what I just saw.
Right.
I would be like, I would be laughing, honestly. I would just be like, y'all don't know what y'all. I mean, okay, if y'all want to fight, boss.
I did, and he stood right over there. He was like, oh, but he actually got in front of him, which was sweet.
He did. He got in front of him. He carried his protector motif. And I thought that was nice too, because it seemed like he understood that Sung Jinwoo was hiding his abilities.
Yeah.
So maybe in his mind, Sung Jinwoo still didn't want to, come forward with his abilities. So maybe he was just trying to, step in, but maybe you knew you wasn't gonna do nothing against him.
I think Sung Jinwoo probably honestly would have let him too. I don't think he had any intention on fighting him, because he just knew he was like so much more powerful than him. After he beat that boss alone, I feel like he definitely knew he was gonna stomp on them. I don't feel like he intended to actually fight them until the whatever game he in was like, hey, well, you could kill them for some points. I mean, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, the system.
Yeah, I think the system is really well pushing him. I don't think he had any intention on actually fighting them. And I mean, obviously, unless he had to.
Yeah. That is very true. That because even in that, like, I told myself, I was like, Jinho, you made the best decision, baby. Because if you would have even, I guess, if you would have decided to save yourself, that system would have said, make it 7.
Yeah, I was so nervous at first because I had to recount. I was like, not 7. I was just like, if he had to kill him, that would have been a whole different, I feel like, character branch off if he would have had to kill him too. Like if he had to kill all of them. But I think at this point we don't know what the system wants. But if it would have done that, I would have been like, okay, what? Then it would have, for me, started to feel something like Gantz or something. It would have
definitely took it in that direction.
Yeah, it would have taken
if he had to make that kind of a choice.
Yeah, so I'm kind of glad it didn't, but I do wonder, like, where would that have taken the story? Because he was already a little conflicted about it. He was still conflicted about it at first, even killing these guys who deserve to be killed. He was still kind of like, do I want to do this? So yeah, I think that would just been too much for him, and I feel like he kind of snapped. Like, even from the choice facing him with these clearly bad people, he kind of snapped a little bit. I don't know if he snapped, but he was going through it.
No, I feel like he, like, I keep mentioning the manga, but in the way they communicated his,
if you want to show
you were
it,
saying
you got a screenshot of it. You can show it.
Okay, let me bring it up. I do have it.
Oh, but I think I jumped ahead because I think he had his Doshite moment, right?
That's what I was about to say. So he
Doshite moment.
Jinho steps in front of him and he's like, I'm gonna protect him or whatever, and then the magic dude just shoots right past him and knocks him. Like, honestly, he expected that that attack to destroy Jin Woo. Like, in a panel that they don't mention in the anime, he was like, I put my all into that attack. Like, he should be dead at this point. So he, like, down in the rubble, he's like mad at himself because he's like, it's like, I forgot that of course these people are gonna take advantage of me. Of course these people are gonna, leave me for dead or try to kill me because I'm so weak and only the strong prevail. And I'm about to share it now.
Yay! Head designer. Shit, I don't even know.
Share screen.
Let's see.
Okay, there it goes. So you see, like, it starts him laying down there. And I like the way they do this why. So you see the one here. It's like, why?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Until it's all black. Why did I
cute.
forget this place? And then it shows the scene that I love that they kept in the anime. Look at his face when it comes up. Oh dang, is that further down? You know what I'm talking about though? When he looked up and it was all black.
Mm-hmm. Wait, I feel like,
Oh, I think was
yeah,
it before?
yeah, because that was kind of like the end.
Oh,
You gotta love manga site ads, child. It's always
I
ads
do.
somewhere in TV.
Right. I guess it
Sometimes
maybe it's in the one before this, but we ain't gotta focus on that.
yeah.
But I did want to say I liked how they did that
And
though.
they
Like
did the
in
red
the
eyes you were talking about. They did do
yes,
that.
they did.
So
They did
yeah,
do
they
that.
did give us that. So that
They
was
kept a lot of the impact of them like really being evil in there. Although that was beautiful.
that
Him
is
using this
beautiful.
attack here,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I love that. I love how that looks. But yeah,
I
he
love
had
the art
this.
style in a lot of this.
I told her, I said, well, if you ever got a character laying on the ground to my Doge, it's over, bitch. They done snap. They finna come up. They about to wake up, powered up, or crazy. I mean, that's pretty much the only two options, right?
I mean, yeah, essentially.
Yeah, they're gonna wake up overpowered or a psycho. I mean, that's pretty much it. It's either one or the other. So he had his Dolce moment. He got up, and the music.
The music was so good.
What is the name of that song?
I don't know, but it came in at the right time. I didn't even realize it came in earlier than what it did. You know what I mean? Like as it was playing for a good little second, and then
I didn't
when
notice
it crescendoed. Right. But it was playing for a good little second,
which I still appreciate. I think when we were talking about, didn't we say on that other episode with the smiling Titan statue thing that the composer for didn't we say something about a composer or somebody from Attack on Titan is working on this?
Yeah,
the same person?
music for them.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, it shows. There's some good choices going on here.
Yeah, because once again, that was the same way the other one was. Like you hear the song, but then when the woman's voice come in, she starts singing. It's like, oh, what's this? Like the song, but that was so good. I don't know what she was saying. I need to find the name of that song because I really liked it. I thought it was really good for what I want to know what she was saying in the song. But I thought it was a good choice for that scene. And I'm sure if we know what the song was, let me see.
It definitely communicated the feeling though.
The real hunt begins. Dark Aria, is that what it's called? The epic version. I like that. So yeah, that's the name of the song. But they don't let nobody play nothing. So
right.
Yeah. So
but yeah, he takes them out one at a time. And when I say they decided to keep this a little tame, because once again in the manhwa, I think the first guy that when they cut his head off, he just comes around, he puts his arm around him, and Sung Jinwoo like materialize the knife and just flicks that thing right down. The next guy, he cuts him in half. Girl,
that was crazy.
I'm talking about he cuts him in half. I think in the anime he just like slices
in the anime, I think
or whatever.
The first guy, I don't think he beheaded the first guy in the anime, right? He just sliced.
Oh no, he beheaded him. His head fell off. Yeah. He definitely beheaded him.
Okay. Because it was like buffering too. So.
Well, yeah, yours it buffered right when the blood splattered.
Yeah.
When you was on Twitch. Yeah. So yeah, his head like bloop bloop. It didn't have the weight of Nobito's body and Jujutsu Kaisen when it fell down, but it definitely took a tumble. Okay. Just like Scarlet. But then he ended up stabbing another guy in the back of the neck.
Hit one in the back of the neck, pulled one, and like stabbed him right in like the stomach or something.
The stomach, and then that activated the paralysis and the bleed effects, and that was crazy. The blood shooting out from the teeth, the eyeballs.
It was crazy. Hasten by killer. Yeah, it was a little cray. Hold on, I gotta answer this phone call.
Okay. But I'm gonna share my screen again and just go through some of these during this fight, because I'm telling y'all, just pick up the manhwa and read it read it along with the anime if you don't want spoilers. It's such a aesthetic difference that I don't know, it has a lot more, like the Sung Jinwoo's personality is slightly more cocky in the manhwa, and some of his lines are delivered with that same intensity, versus in the anime he's a lot more meekish, I guess I want to say. Like he's not as I mean, now he actually might be. He's turning that corner to where he's probably going to be sitting in his badassery a little bit more. But this whole entire beginning part, there's just an air of cockiness about him, but not really, because he still has some of those same lines about being weak.
All right, we bike.
We bike.
We bike. Oh, I'm gonna play this song. Y'all want to get this copyright? Let's go. Hold on. We'll just clip it out. Just play a little bit of it. Just play a little bit. I'm just gonna jump to the middle part of it and just play it. I know that you feel similarities. I think this is yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let me skip.
Just skip ahead a little bit.
This the song?
Is that the song? Maybe with the stuff going on and a little bit of more crescendo in the orchestra or something, it sounds a little different. Maybe
this is supposed to be the epic version.
Yeah, this feels about it.
Is this
feels? Yeah, this feels around.
Oh
time. I remember that the instrumentation in the background.
Yeah,
had that darkness to it. Slicing their ass up. That was a good choice.
That was a good choice. Ooh. I like this epic version. It's like very Game of Thrones. It's very like Game of Thrones. Like one of my favorite songs from Game of Thrones is the when she blows up the sept. Oh, the light of the seven.
She's sipping that. She's sipping that that wine in the window.
Yeah, they like last little part definitely reminded me of like the light of seven. That's like one of my favorite songs.
As much as I do not like that whore, as much as I do not like that whore, she can give you everything you need in a look.
Yes.
Okay.
Goosebumps.
She can say she knows how to savor a moment.
Yeah. I got goosebumps just thinking about her in the window with that glass of wine because
I had to pour me some wine thinking about Cersei. I just had to.
Moments in life where I just like wish I could just sit in the window like this with a glass of wine and just that's just beautiful. But yes,
it would be awesome to do that when like right after a bitch did you wrong.
Yeah.
You just got your lick back. And you just sitting back thinking about it.
Just sitting there thinking about it. So I love the epic version. I'm gonna have to listen to it in my own time. But I'm trying not to get that copyright strike. But I do like that version. But even the version in the episode was really good, very impactful for what was going on. And it's a turning point for him. So like listening to the song and the tone of it.
Who is this? Who is designer?
Designer.
That's real sweet. Thank you, designer.
Always got a pickup line for you. Okay, it's like the little bomb pops where they had the little jokes on the stick. You finish it and you just read it. So
right.
But no, it was a very good song choice. But I wonder what it means for Sung Jinwoo. Like listening to the song as he's doing this, it's like the point of no return, I guess.
That does kind of sound like, though. I think at this point he's killing humans. He even takes a moment, even though he knows he doesn't have any other choice. It takes a moment to like really sit with that.
Yeah,
you know, he questions that a little bit. What does this mean for me? And he's like, well, either it's them or me. And the system, apparently, I might not know what it wants, but at this moment, I know it wants a strong Sung Jinwoo, and that's what I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna use the system. I'm gonna let the system use me. Right. So
good. I love that.
Ooh, we are turning the corner.
That was Sung Jinwoo's bathtub slurping moment. I think that was.
Oh my God! Can you leave this movie alone?
Nope, because I know it bothers you. I gotta bring it up every time. This is Sung Jinwoo's bathtub slurping moment.
No, it is not.
He's surrendering to it. He's surrendering to it all. Yes, it is. It's a moment of surrender. You got to see the poet. You got to see how poetic it is. It's him surrendering to the system in this moment, I think. And I think that's why the music was very impactful as well.
Can we like liken it to like Phantom of the Opera,
no,
maybe?
Because you're killing humans. We can't. Like, we have to accept how dark it is. This is really dark. You're killing humans because the system told you to. I mean, you don't even have like bitch. I would have needed less. Like as soon as I realized you tried to kill me, I'm getting my
100%. Yeah,
so
the moment you show back up.
But I'm not Sung Jinwoo. Sung Jinwoo needed more. And so, like, I feel like, yeah, he's surrendering to whatever this is that he's dealing with. I don't feel like he necessarily was fighting against it before, but I feel like in the previous episodes, like, we see him trying to figure it out more. I don't know where Twan just went with himself. Come back. I see you back there. Oh, his camera might have froze. Tried to kill him 3 times though. I mean, yeah. It would have took you 1 time to try to kill me. That's all I'm saying. It wouldn't have took 3 times for me. Is he back? Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah,
he
sorry
said
about
3
that.
times you
Froze.
tried to kill me. You would try to kill me 1 time.
And I love that he pointed that out too. He's over here begging
Yeah.
for his life, and he says 3 times. And even me, I was like, 3 times? You gonna kill him 3
Yeah.
times? And he was like, he said, you gonna ask for help from or mercy from someone you tried to kill 3 times?
Mhm.
Bitch, say that shit again. Make it hurt.
And I thought he
Okay.
was gonna say like 3 times stronger or something. Like, I thought he was
I
gonna say
mean,
something else. I didn't think he was gonna say, because the way they did it, it was like it could have meant something else. I can't remember what
mhm,
it was, but it was like the moment he said it, it could have meant something else. And then he was like, "No,
mhm.
you tried to kill me 3 times, bitch. That's what I'm finna." So I just love that moment. But I do
Yeah.
think it's a moment where he's like, I think in the previous episodes, he's been trying to figure out what's happening to him. I think he had more questions, and even like when it told him to do something, he would kind of like not push back, but I just think in this moment he was just like, the system
It
said y'all got to
is what it
go.
is. It
Yeah.
is what it
And
is.
at this point, I'm trusting the system. I think it's him trusting whatever this is that is happening or
Yeah.
is telling him to do things. So yeah, I do think it was a moment of surrender and just
Yeah.
trusting whatever the system is or has for him. I think he just decided to trust it now. And like from there, I'm like scared for him kind of a little bit.
Mhm.
Because I think it's a little premature to decide that.
I mean, but you got to think about it. It's the only reason he's alive.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only reason he's
I
alive
mean,
right
yeah, you have
now.
to have faith. That was like the 3rd commandment, right?
Yeah,
I mean, if
pretty
the 2
much.
are linked, if that whole what was it like, praise it, whatever, and then like have faith or whatever. If
Oh
that
yeah, the
is
commandments.
the commandment, yeah. So that was like the last
Yeah,
commandment. So I feel like he's finally actually surrendering to whatever is happening to him. So I think that's why that music was impactful.
that's a good tie-in. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he's
Um. So he gets his lick back in fashion, in great fashion. He
wow.
slammed the shit out of that man. He even
I
gave him a
love a
little
good
moment.
mush.
He even gave him a Sakuna moment. You are strong. Right before he put his lights out.
You
He,
did so well. You did so good for
right.
Daddy. You were such a
But
good girl.
little did you
But
know, I've been leveling up this
come
entire
on,
time, baby. I have been the one. I
I
am the one.
I love a good mush. Like, it's just something about it. Like, out of all the things you could do to someone, just
It's the
mushing the shit out
disrespect.
of somebody.
It's the audacity.
Yeah,
It truly is.
because it's like,
Because
what is
it's
even the point?
such a disrespectful move. It's such a disrespectful thing.
It's really
Now
disrespectful.
he gave you a full palm. This, I want to fight you immediately.
What if somebody like just did that? Because I feel
I
like
don't know
that's,
what it is about these 2 fingers. Like, if you were to do this, it would
yeah.
take me a second to really process. I don't know what it is about this. This makes you want to fight immediately.
Because it's like you're not even using your full strength. Like, you really, really
Right.
trying me. Because a mush is already trying, but then like
Right.
just using 2 fingers. Yeah. I don't know. That was kind of hot though. I'm into it. I love a good mush. That happened in Heaven is
Very
a
much
Future
so.
Blessing. He was mushing the shit out of that dude. Every time he said something, he just mushed him into the ground. Say it again. I thought I told you shut the fuck up. You still talking? Mush. Like, it was amazing. So it kind of called me back to that scene. I just love a good mush, and it's just the most
Mhm.
disrespectful way. I thought he was gonna do worse to him. Well, yeah, I did think he was gonna do worse to him. But
I
that's
did
pretty
too, but he just ended up getting a smooth decapitation. And in the manhwa,
dope. Mm-hmm.
that head was spinning. But it's like he said,
His
"Shroop,"
role.
that thing's aggressively, like it losing hair as it was spinning.
Poor Jinho, man.
I know, right? Like witnessing all
I
of
feel
that
like
on your
that's
first
traumatic.
raid.
And
Your
then like
first raid.
there has to be a moment where, I mean, just imagine it, because he's not seeing the screen. He's not seeing Sung Jinwoo having this challenge. He's not seeing that Sung Jinwoo will die if he doesn't do it. So like, this man
Mhm.
was literally just like chill and like gonna allow you to fight for him, and then he just snapped and then just killed everybody in like I would have been like, is he gonna stop at me? Like, am I like, has he snapped completely, or is he still there? Is he just gonna kill everybody here? So I would have been scared if I was Jinho. Like,
yeah.
scared.
I mean, he he is playing his role. Like I said, you saw how quick he snatched that bag up, gave him a title. He says, "I know my place. I want you to know that I know that. We are friends." Okay. Look at me defending you, even though you do not need it. Look at this. Look how much more proof you need. Okay.
I will make myself useful to you.
I'm definitely excited to see once they leave this dungeon. And
so are they gonna be progress. Like the Bard and The Witcher? Like, is this gonna be one of those moments like in The Witcher? That's what it was giving. It was giving one of those like, oh no, you gonna be my master.
I kind of told on myself on the last episode when he showed up, and I was like, I love Jinho, so he's gonna be around.
But I didn't know, like, in what capacity. I still didn't see it going down this way, because I'm thinking like he, like in Sword Art Online, Kirito like running solo. So I just figured Sung Jinwoo might go that path, and like we meet him again somewhere, kind of like, oh, we'll see him again. So that could have meant anything to me, like, oh, we'll see him again, or
I mean, you still don't know in what capacity.
It's definitely given The Bard and The Witcher. It's definitely giving like I'm now following you now. Like we're a team. I don't care. You need
it's the blue eye samurai of it all. Yeah, we have this one experience together, and all of a sudden it's master boss.
Absolutely, because I would have been doing the same thing, Daddy.
Please. I would be. Listen. I say that now. Like I used to say in Vampire Diaries, like let me come across one of them. Let me come across one. You're gonna get annoyed. You're gonna kill me for asking too much.
You're gonna be so tired of you. Like, I'm like,
oh my God. I don't know what's going on. These veins, they just be
it's just so like, what do you need? Are you hungry? Because I'm hungry. What you want, Chick-fil-A? Oh yeah, you don't eat Chick-fil-A. Like
you don't eat Chick-fil-A.
You don't eat Chick-fil-A?
What you eat?
Like, what you be eating?
What you eat?
So yes, I love that like little dichotomy, but he's so golden retriever. I just love Jinho. How can you not like him?
He is fully golden retriever, and if you paint his hair blue, he immediately turns into Yuji.
No,
because they both got the crop sides. Yeah, pink. That's what I meant. Yeah, pink. Yeah, you change your pinky, then you got Yuji.
Protect him at all costs. It's cute. But I am interested to see like what this Sung Jinwoo character is gonna be. Like, is he gonna be like chill and then he just goes sicko mode, or is he just gonna eventually just be a sicko all the time? Like, I'm just really curious to see what he's gonna come out on the other side of that, because I think we are crossing over to a new territory with him deciding to just trust whatever the system tells him. I don't know if the system has his best interest at heart.
I mean, well, you see, and that's what I feel like is reassuring, and I'm glad they did that at the end when he's standing in the rain with Jinho after they, meet with this. I think she's some kind of gate receptionist who she must have seen a lot of shit. She must have seen a lot in the last 10 years, because she is over here just recapping in the most fun way. Oh, so the armor, so you must have killed him, right? And then you must be the only one remaining that just sat in the corner and ain't did shit. Okay, great. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this paperwork.
Right.
I'm like, girl, like, even if what you said happened, damn, he has to be traumatized.
Like, girl, I got trying to get home. This is just my 9 to 5. Let me get these people. Let me get the info. Let me get the hell on. But yeah,
but to my point though, after that took place. And I'm glad they showed this, was they were standing in the rain and you see Jin Woo holding his hand out and he goes, I'm glad I gave her that umbrella. So I feel like that shows that what is going to be his anchor for all of this, hopefully, is going to be his family. It's going to be his sister. Because even after all of that, that's who he's thinking about in this moment.
I'm hoping. How I said early on that I think they're gonna kill her. So I hope she survived, because something in me just feels like she got to go. Like, if I was writing this and that was the only thing keeping him grounded, I definitely would murder her ASAP. So that's just me.
Jenna, no.
I'm just saying, that's just me. But I like dark stories, so I'm not saying it's gonna happen. But that'd be a good way to push him.
I would cry like a baby.
That'd be a good way to push him, I think. So I'm hoping she die. Not because I don't like her, but
his mama's in a coma.
She alive? She could go too. Kill them both. Shit. I mean, we need plot furtherance, people. Like,
we need plot furtherance. Kill them off. Take them out.
I'm not here for
Let's
Sunshine
can
and
that be
rainbows.
like what when you want that to happen season 1? That can't even be like a season
Um,
2 thing.
I mean, how many episodes I got? Like 12, 24? How many?
We halfway through. It's 12.
Okay, if I had 12 episodes, I mean, no, we could take our time. She can make it by the end of 24. She gone. She's out of here.
Okay.
Yeah, before
Damn.
24 episodes, she gotta go. But she don't have to necessarily go because like what we're at episode 6. So let's see. The first
Well,
3
so wait,
episodes,
it's doing the 12 straight through, and then we
I
taking a
think
break,
so.
and then we're gonna get another 12, right?
I've been hearing that, but then some people just say 12. So I'm
I
not really
hope so.
sure. But if I look at how they broke it up, the first 3 episodes we had weak Sung Jinwoo, then these
Mm-hmm.
next 3 we had the on the way to the glow up Sung Jinwoo. So then I'm
Right.
assuming that since he surrendered slurp to the program, that the next 3 episodes will be his journey having fully become the submissive of this program.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she don't have to die in them 3. So then
Okay.
episode what was episode 10?
10. So I like
She's
you breaking this kind of up in quarters.
yeah, episode
Yeah.
10, she in trouble for me. Yeah, if I'm talking about arcs and story arcs and plot furtherance, she's in trouble.
Mhm.
Episode 10. I might let her make it out of 12. Depends on how I'm gonna kill her. Depends on what kind of razzle dazzle I want. Like how bad do I want it to hurt for the audience will determine how fast she dies. He
You
says
want it to
slurp
hurt
slurp is
real bad.
crazy.
It is. Leave it
Um,
alone.
if I kill Sung Jinwoo's sister, I would do it in front of him. And I would have the system cause her to die in some secondary way. That's what I would do. If I kill Sung Jinwoo's sister, that's how she would go. She would go via the system, but not directly, indirectly. And he needs to, and then he would like, would I want him to know that right away? Yeah. But I want him to feel like it's his fault.
Mhm.
Then I want him to struggle with this system he submitted to and not being sure it's really for him, or is it using him? That's yeah, I would kill her. Absolutely. Yeah. I like that.
Damn. I would rather his mom go. At
She
least
already in a
ease me
coma.
into it. Okay, but didn't you just say she's alive? So that only
Yeah.
works with you, right?
But she's not doing nothing. She
alive.
ain't doing nothing. I mean, because if somebody's in a coma,
she's his driving force. She's his the reason.
I mean, that's what he thinks.
What?
That's just
How
kind
that
of one
even
of those things.
sound?
That's
That's
just
what
kind
he
of one of those
thinks.
things. Like if someone's in a coma, what are you gonna do? You kind of just gotta go with it. Like you can't really let them go, and you can't really but they're not a factor.
You could use that as your guiding force for getting stronger, for what pushes you past the things that the system might have you do. You know what I mean? Like, no, she don't need to die, not yet. Dang.
I didn't say. I said the sister need to die first.
Oh, that's right. I said
She'll
she
be
didn't
doing
die.
nothing anyway.
But she could die, but like in season 2. See, let him get a whole season of progression.
She don't be doing nothing.
Oh my god!
What does she do?
If anybody is in a coma listening to this right now,
no, the mom is safe in my story, not me. I'm not Yagami. Why are you calling me Yagami? I'm just saying, as good writing,
yeah.
sister gotta go.
You're right.
Circa episode 10, she needs to be in trouble. And if you really want this to be a deep story, have him have to decide, what he's gonna choose, the system or morality. And the system secondarily or somehow killing the sister indirectly would be great for that.
Well, the system, he want to talk about 3 times. The system has already told him, I'm gonna stop your heart at least 2. So
because really,
I don't know if he got too much wiggle room with the system.
The system
don't seem like she gonna negotiate.
Because that's crazy. Like your heart will stop if you don't kill these people like immediately. Like it's really crazy. See, Shakuti agrees. Killing the sister will have more of an impact. Yeah, it would. It really would. I think it would make him.
I'm not disagreeing.
Because like even now, like I think about how Sung Jinwoo sees the system, he's not really questioning it. I think it's benefiting him right now so much that he doesn't feel the need to like look into it more, or force the issue. Like I feel like something will have to happen to make him feel like he needs to figure this out. Because for me, it's like it's working for me. I don't know about it, but it's making me stronger. I'm getting this money. Like,
Well, I mean, with it being such a phenomenon, I think his only real way to do that is to just continue to move forward in whatever it tells you to do, because he doesn't have
a choice,
anyone to go
really.
to, any reference points. He there's no origin of this thing that he knows of. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, he can only just move forward. That's the only way he can do more
That's
research
true.
into it or dig into it. So it's an interesting position he's in.
Yeah.
I think it is obvious what he needs to do, which is just listen to it and do what the hell it tells you, to avoid
You
these
gotta put up a
penalties.
little bit of a fight.
And on top of that, you got to think about it. It originally, but when he got initiated that task to kill all 6 of them people, it didn't immediately say that it would stop his heart. It
Yeah, it
said
didn't.
you will receive an appropriate penalty, or a penalty that's like whatever that is according to the level of severity of what we need you to do.
Yeah.
And then it turned into stop your heart. His penalty for not exercising was to go to a freaking desert and run for 4 hours away from 6+ centipede monsters. So if that's the lower scale of of
Right.
ignoring its rules, and then the highest is stopping your heart, that is a crazy in between that I would not want to investigate.
I'm
Okay,
convinced he's
so
working with character AI. Sung Jinwoo is working with character AI. Because it definitely feels like AI trying to figure out your buttons. Like, what motivates you? Like praise and rewards or punishment?
mhm.
Like, I think it's trying to figure out what motivates Sung Jinwoo.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Um, and I definitely think punishment or death motivates him, which is
Mhm.
bad, which is why once again his sister has to die. I mean,
Hey,
we're just seeing that it has to be that extreme for him to move. Like you say, he keeps moving forward, but his moving forward only comes from trauma or very bad situations. Like he don't just he you gotta push him a little bit. You gotta drag him. So I think the system's like trying to also still figure out his what motivates him more, rewards or punishment. And clearly he needs threats of violence to do what he needs to do. So how is that gonna escalate? You know? Because I
right.
don't think it can just keep threatening him. Like what capacity does the system have? Like just only him? Can it only do things to him? Can it like send monsters into the world? Like can it attack other people? Can it, you know what I mean? Like I'm wanting to know how far this system can go. Like
I mean,
how
yeah, we're
far can
still
it
very
reach?
early.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can it
Oh,
start
oh,
manipulating stuff to like, you know, I don't know. I'm just worried.
I also had a large amount of reassurance in this episode regarding something I mentioned last episode. Remember, we were going over the manga panels again. We are talking about the
Mm-hmm.
differences between the gates in the
Mm-hmm.
anime and the gate in the manga,
Oh
and
yeah,
how in
yeah.
the gates they gave off this like black, almost lightning type
I
of
saw
aura.
that. I paid attention to the little whatever that was on him.
This was all I just needed, that little bit of confirmation on how it was going to look, or if they were even going to do that to set
Your
myself at
mind at
ease.
ease. That
Yes,
moment when he
yes.
was walking and it had the
He
little
was
black
walking forward.
thing,
Yes,
and
them
it kind of looked like
tendrils started to
sand.
come. Yeah, kind of. And that's what it was interesting. Like, even though it's not exactly how it's kind of portrayed in there,
Mhm.
I'm not mad at this, because I see the future of what this could look like if his powers grow. So
Yeah.
I am happy. Happy camper
And I
over
think that was
here.
like disconcerting as well.
Hmm.
Cause like I mean it's a little disconcerting because then you start to think it's a visual choice. If you had the choice to change it visually for the ease of watching and
Hmm.
audience understanding, like we talked about last week, adding that in means that it's important because of something, but it's dark. So it's like there's something here. There's a catch.
Hmm.
And I know we're
Hmm.
gonna figure out the catch, and we have to figure out the catch in the next 3 episodes because yeah, it has to be. We got 12. So let's even just say, because most movies are act 1, 2, 3. We had
Hmm.
act 1 of the season. We're currently in act 2. So I would assume somewhere around episode 9, 8 or 9, shit's gonna go left. Cause that would be act 3. So I'm just waiting. I'm so excited and scared
Yeah.
at the same time. And then we got
Yeah.
that last closing scene with the really buff guy with the thigh gap. What was that?
Because
Because
that
that
thing
thigh
was
gap,
that thing.
that thigh gap was
Okay.
I. It was weird.
Yeah, it didn't give me what I would have wanted
Cause
for
how you
a
that
little
swole
bit
with
of
a
a.
thigh gap?
Yeah, the body proportions was a little off,
It was a little
but
weird. Yeah.
that I think when we was watching on Twitch, my comment was this nigga,
I don't
this
even know who
mother.
that is. I don't even know if it's somebody I've seen. I've seen so many swole dudes that I don't know who I'm looking at.
Well, they kind of laid it on a little bit more thicker in the manhwa, in that same
Mm,
way, because he mentioned before, they brought several hints to this person's little brother. Do you know how my little brother is? Uh, like, in the beginning when he first saw the mana crystals, he brought up
yeah.
that he wouldn't be like, I think he said something about he wouldn't be dragging behind his little brother or something like that. But they mentioned his little brother like 3 times, and in this
Okay.
final scene he gets out of bed. He's not just standing up. He gets out of bed and he was like, "Why are my eyes wet?"
Yeah. Okay. I didn't see that because we were struggling. We was buffering.
Hmm.
So I missed
It
that.
didn't say
But
that in
my
the anime. It didn't say it in the anime. They
okay,
just skipped
my
that part.
initial thought was that was the old dude's big brother or his brother. Like
It
that
is.
because he
It's his
kind of
little
had a
brother.
okay, because he had a similar haircut too. So I feel like
Hmm.
visually it was trying to like convey that these two people are related. So and then he just said, "Do you know what my brother's gonna do? Come through Equalizer 3 storyline." Um, 'cause that's basically what it was. You kill my little brother, now big brother's mad and he's coming for your ass. So yeah. So we ended with that. So I'm very excited to
Well,
see what happens.
there was also two different two other scenes in here. And it did bring up a little bit of point that I was thinking about. There we had two breakaway scenes where they kind of, and I'm realizing there's a formula to these scenes where they're adding S rank hunters that we don't see for
Yeah.
a while early.
Hmm.
They're kind of just adding him in there. And the only thing I kind of don't like, or not don't like, let me work on that. The thing that I wish happened, the the change I would make with
Hmm.
these scenes that they're adding early on, giving I guess the characters more screen time. I
Hmm.
want these scenes to mean more.
Yeah.
For me, it feels like these scenes are kind of just every time they show S rank hunter, it's to describe or give more context. I guess saying the same thing twice with the scene that's about to play.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when they
And for
were sitting at the
me,
table.
I don't have enough context to care or
Yeah, so it
understand
kind
it.
of
And
feels
then
a little hollow, right?
yeah, and then like it's breaking up like momentum. So like automatically when you start to put a scene in where I'm trying to know what's about to happen next, you already know I'm
Mhm.
like, bitch, can we get out with like what's up? Like we cut from
Because
this to go to this. So I'm already impatient with the scene because we're breaking up the things, which I'm used
mhm,
to. But so I'm already impatient. So I'm kind of glazed over anyway. Like, okay, yeah, 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 yeah. But then I also don't have a
right.
lot of context for it. So I'd be like, oh,
Mhm.
definitely, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. What I don't know I don't even remember what they was talking about in that whole scene.
Yeah, like when they were sitting down at the lunch. Okay, three
Hmm.
girls we haven't been introduced to yet. I think
Yeah.
they work at two different hunters guilds, but two very prominent ones: the White Tigers
Hmm.
Guild and the Hunters Guild. Um, but they're kind of just talking about their A rank training,
Yeah.
A rank gate training with this S class hunter Cha In. But that scene doesn't really do anything besides just say that where there are high quality guilds or high very famous guilds, and that Cheyenne is a badass. That's kind of it.
Right.
And then they just give you context for the scene that's coming up. And then when we get the scene where it's Chairman Go and his assistant or whatever, they're just sparring. It doesn't really add much to the story besides, I guess, showing you
That
that
he
he's
can move,
strong.
even though but like I saw that in the car because have y'all seen his shoulders?
And those
Like
battle scars. Look at his
that's what I'm
face.
like.
He's thick, thick,
And I
thick
watch
fatty.
anime, so we know we not thinking old people is crusty around here. If you've been watching anime
Right,
for any amount of time, you know they
right.
be
So
strong.
it's like they're giving them more screen time, but it's not really. I want them to give these characters storylines.
Hmm.
Hopefully, they're setting up for that maybe before we get
Yeah,
introduced to them. But like, it don't got to be nothing that changed the canon of the story, but just give us maybe more insight into stuff they got going on in their personal life. Maybe it just I don't know. These additions. I get they're trying to give them more
yeah.
context of the
Kind of try to
character, but
like
it
so
just
when you
feels
see
a
them
little hollow at
later,
this point.
when you
Yeah.
see them later, you'll be like, oh yeah, it's that guy again.
But
I
that's
mean,
the
I
thing.
guess
Right
it could
now in
work.
my brain, I'm imagining their introductions, right?
Hmm.
I don't think their introductions are changing at all based on the stuff that we have seen. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like if they're adding this, I want their introductions later to be like, I don't know, feel more robust. Now it's just like, oh, I
Mm.
saw their face before, and that's it.
Who was saying what he's saying? I don't even remember anything they said in any of their little cutscenes when they showed up. I remember their faces. So I guess
Hmm.
we'll see if it pays off to have seen them
Yeah, we'll
earlier.
see.
I know sometimes it's like an information overload thing. You don't want to just like people pop up like, where the fuck these people come from? I also hate that. So maybe it's just
Hmm.
like a little, you need to see these people and then you'll see him again and then you'll see him again. So maybe that's kind of what they're trying to do. But yeah, I just find myself impatient with it. Like,
Yeah.
girl,
I
why are we
think
sitting
honestly,
here?
that's one of my only like critiques so far. It's like we are breaking up badass moments, and I want what we cut away from to be as engaging. And I don't
Hmm.
feel like that's the case, you know?
Right. I agree. Just like some fan service shots of people doing stuff. And I'm like, I mean, we can, I mean, I guess, girl,
If
I guess.
anything, I feel okay. Ooh, perfect way to describe it for me. I feel like these are just Easter eggs for the manga readers. That's what
Hmm.
it feels like.
Yeah, it's fan service. And that's what I'm saying. For
Yeah.
me, as someone who hasn't read the manga, it definitely feels like it's not for me. Because
Hmm.
it feels like you're getting these fan service moments. And like, because I haven't read the manga, I'm just not connecting with it. So it's just annoying for
Hmm.
me. Because I'm like, girl, I mean, she cute or whatever, but
But let's get back to the spider.
can we? So what was Sung Jinwoo over there
Remember
doing?
that
Because what
huge
that
betrayal?
Because when y'all cut to that screen for like 0.2 seconds, if y'all was gonna do this, y'all could at least gave a bitch 2 seconds to read it. Because sometimes they be
Hmm.
flashing on them scenes, and I'd be like, I did not see anything it said. So it is what it is. But that's a small criticism.
Yeah,
Enjoying
small
it so
criticism.
far. We actually are gonna leave and then go live again to look at the interview with the vampire teaser that they dropped for season 2. So we aren't going to linger long. Tonight is the Super Bowl. I think the Super Bowl is coming on in 15 minutes. And hold on, the story isn't structured to support the S rank hunters. That's why everything about them is lackluster. That's a good point. That is
Yeah.
a good point.
But that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. That's what I wanted. I want them to take that time that they're using to just throw these random scenes in here that are expanding the time
Hmm.
that we're getting. I want them to use that time in developing exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Create
Because
some
they could
kind of
take that
backstory. You
chance
could
to
even
kind
do
of,
a two storyline situation where we just bounce between two, big plot points. That way you're adding to the story, but at the same time not affecting the canon. Like,
yeah.
because you can
Because it's
bring
like
that to a
if
close
you
right
decided
before
you
they come
wanted to
back.
if you decided you want to make this change for the anime media, like that's fine, but like then really utilize it to
Mhm.
buff up what it was lacking in the manga. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I
Yeah.
think I think I can agree with that. Like if you're gonna do it, like use it for value, not just to show me flips and
Mhm.
shit. Like, okay, girl. But we'll be back next week to talk about another episode of Solo Leveling. But I'm enjoying it so far. I'm loving it. Y'all know I'm not really a shonen girly like that, but I'm really
Mhm.
enjoying it so far. So I hope Sung Jinwoo's sister dies. I hope he goes crazy. I hope his mom blows up in the hospital.
I hate
I know you hate me.
you.
I know. I just want suffering and pain because that makes the best people, okay, in anime.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's what we need. Okay. We need that. But I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Thanks to everybody who stopped by, commented, and have followed us. We got a lot of new followers lately from Solo Leveling. So thank you, Daddy Sung Jinwoo. Um, and we'll be back next week at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye, y'all. Don't forget to keep it cute.
Bye.
And if you watch Interview with the Vampire, catch us on the next live in like literally 5 minutes. Bye.